Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thursday, the 6th of June, D-Day, Pete, over in Europe.
D-Day. We did it, mate. I'm not crook.
D-Day, when they stormed the beaches over in bloody Normandy there. Welcome on, mate. Welcome from the other side of the country. Bloody good to have you on. It's been a long time getting to this stage, mate, but bloody absolute pleasure to have you on, Pete.
No, always love having a chat with you, Bucko. So, mate, I've missed you. I've missed you on YouTube. I've missed you bloody everywhere, mate. The genuinity, I love it, mate. I missed you.
Thanks a lot, mate. I appreciate that. As I said, everyone in the chat room knows I got the shits with YouTube and threw it in and whatever, and then regretted my decision about 2 weeks later. And then when I went to get the channel back, she was gone. It just was gone. I contacted YouTube and said, "Where's my old channel?" And the thing I'm spewing about, Pete, is I did that trip last year, mate, down the east coast into Tasmania, into South Aussie. It was going to be the whole lap, mate, but we kind of got the shits with, just with the weather and I don't know, shits with the world, mate. And we ended up working our way back up north, inland. And I'm spewing now, mate, because I look back on a lot of places and I think, shit, I wish I still had the film clips of some of the beautiful places that we went to on our way down through New South Wales and Victoria, mate. That's the big regret I have now, is that I've lost some amazing. It was 40-odd. We're up to number 40-something film clip, mate. There were some good ones on there, mate, and showcased some of the beautiful places over here on the East Coast. But anyway, stiff shit they say in Russia.
Good excuse to do it again, mate. And the funny thing is, isn't it, about YouTube, when you go to delete a video, it's very serious when they ask you, like, are you sure you want to permanently delete this? It's like, okay, yeah, I do understand you're going to lose it forever, you know?
Yeah, and once it's gone, I even contacted YouTube and said, it's got to be up there floating around in the sky somewhere. They said, no, mate, she's gone ski. Like,
yeah, I wonder where they do go.
Yeah,
probably selling it on the black market, mate.
You're right, but, mate, they do warn you. They go, are you sure you wanted it? Because once it's gone, it's gone. But I had to
permanently.
I went, I'm not doing YouTube ever again. 2 weeks later. Anyway, it was good to have a break. Mate, there's heaps of people coming on.
Oh, magic.
And we've got our first overseas guest on. I've seen Andy Riches on up there in the UK. G'day, Andy. Hope you're well. And how's this for a name, Pete? Best. Oh, no, I missed it. There's Phil
McCavity. That's a beauty.
Phil McCavity. Steve's Brewery and Camping. How about that?
Oh, very nice. Very nice, Steve. Cheers, mate.
Speaking of breweries, Pete, as you know, Spinifex Breweries, which is a West Aussie mob, helped me out with my camping event a couple of years ago. They're a veteran and Indigenous-owned company over in Broome in West Aussie. And I literally, before I went live, mate, before you came on, mate of mine, Matty Laxo and his wife are over in Broome as we speak, and they are at the brand new Spinifex Breweries, like a brewery where you can have a feed and all that, mate, and they've got all their veterans beers, and it looks like a really nice place, mate. So I've got to get my ass over to Broome and check the new Spinifex Breweries building out, mate, because it looks pretty good. It's like what we'll talk about a bit later, maybe the shelter one down at Bustleton, mate.
Yeah, magic. Or Matzo's or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, mate, beautiful feed and all that type of stuff. Terry G's on, who I think you speak to quite regularly there. Oh, Terry. Terry got
magic.
12-volt system put in his caravan, mate. He got a couple of King's 200-amp lithium batteries, which a mate of ours on, Simon from Lockyer Hub's 4-wheel drive, and he does a lot of technical testing on stuff. He put the King's battery through its paces, the blue top lithium, and he said, mate, it does everything that is required of it. Like, he loaded her up with 120 amps and it lasted an hour. You know what I mean?
Mate, I'm telling you, I reckon I've always had this stance. It's like 100%. You know, in some things, I think you pay for what you get. But then I reckon I've heard of, you know, eBay spotties and shit like that lasting years and years. I've heard no-name fridges lasting for years and years. Then I've heard like really good brand fridges and shit lasting not long at all. You know, and if he's saying that he's tested it, loaded it up, but I guess it's time. You know what I mean? How long can it last, or how many recharges? You know?
You know, only a few years ago, Pete, if you mention lithium batteries to anyone, they just go, "Oh, I can't afford it. They're too dear, mate." But there's
I was one of them.
Bloody, you brickies are on about $1,000 an hour, mate. You should have bloody drive right through the 76.
Well, mate, I only work till 10, so I'm tight as a duck's bum.
Pete, we were having a good chat yesterday. Pete said, I work till smoko, and then she's down tools and going home.
Yeah, you can imagine today with the storm running through in Perth, mate. I was gone. As soon as I seen a little cloud, I'm out of there.
Most tradies are like that. A bit of a black cloud appears 30 kilometres away, down tools, home.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'll help it along by spraying the hose on the job too.
Yeah. Phil the Maniac there, often cheaper brands have longer warranty on their name brand than name brands. Yeah, true. But I had Enerdrive. I've got an Enerdrive in the camper trailer, and there was Enerdrive in my caravan. That is a very good brand, but boy, oh boy, you pay for it, mate. They sell that for a DCF Enerdrive. It's top dollar stuff, mate. It's top dollar stuff. It really is. I just seen
Ty Fenwick is on this feed. I'm a big fan of him. He's a bloody legend of a bloke.
Bloody oath, mate. And Ty's the one who put Jackery onto me and said, I've got another.
Nice, okay.
Mate, Ty's got a great bloody channel, really. G'day, Ty. How are you, mate? Thanks for tuning in tonight. And Pete watches your channel. And a good all the little YouTube channels. We all support each other, mate, and we all bloody get on. And,
shit, I don't know if he's so little anymore. No, he's killing it. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I know, mate. No, Ty's going real well. He's like Cam, mate. He's exploded, you know. Like,
all that Cam, Ford Raptor stuff. It's so interesting.
Like that now, Pete. When he used to mix with us, he's like a bit like that now.
He's too good for us, you know. Jesus. Hey, if I had a van like that too, I think I'd leave us too, mate.
He's in the 100,000 club now, mate. I'm still trying to get 4,000 friggin' hell.
Yeah, I'm hearing the $600 swag.
Speaking of swag, because I know I will forget it later on. I've got the filthy old King's Big Daddy Deluxe, mate, and it does the job for me.
Tried and tested. They are, mate.
I know, and it's cheap. Once again, it's affordable, and when you go out camping, you see them everywhere. Give your swag a plug, mate, because I know that you love it.
Oh, mate, no, I use a Ranger RT1 swag, so it's a metre wide. I always find that with the small, it just gives you a little bit more to stretch out on. Fits on a nice stretcher and stuff like that. But I don't want to blow smoke up anyone's ass. They're like a nice little Aussie company run by two tradies, just really nice blokes. I think I like them more than anything. You know, they're just really lovely lads. I want to see them do well because they're very passionate about what they do. But it's just the mattress that sells it for me, mate. It's the comfort, like sleeping. I've always had trouble sleeping properly on a camping trip, you know, whether it be the 30 whiskeys that you have or whatever. But no, it's usually it's the mattress, you know, hitting your hip on the ground. I'll find being a larger lad, but that ticks my boxes, that one, the dual density thing. So I don't know. Yeah. It sounded like a fucking advert now. But it's the mattress, mate, for me. That's what wins it.
Are the lads a West Aussie company, mate, the Ranger, or are they from over?
No, they're over in I believe the eastern states. I believe they've moved around. Two of them, Reese and Aaron, but they I think they're over in New South Wales, I believe, and one of them might be in Queensland. I'm not too sure on that. Don't call me on that, but they're eastern staters. I'll just merge all you guys into the one area. I'll be honest.
I'm going to address that right now.
Yeah,
I lived over in Western Australia, everyone, as you know. There are only two states in Australia, Western Australia and Eastern Australia. The CEOs do not acknowledge that there are more than one state east of their border. It is like, I know for a fact when I used to say, I'm originally from Queensland. Oh, you're from over east, are you? Yeah, Queensland, as a matter of fact, it's one of the states over. And so you're just either Western Australia or Eastern Australia, but they don't realise it's Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, and right beside
Northern Territory.
Are another two big blocks of dirt called South Australia and the Northern Territory.
I feel like they're West. I feel like we'll claim them, eh? They're Western.
Are they Westerners, are they? They're a strange
I don't know.
The Crow Eaters, I thought you Sandgropers were a strange bunch. The Crow Eaters are even stranger, mate. The South Aussie guys, they are a strange. And the Northern Territory, they are in their own world up there, mate.
Yeah.
Up at the top end.
Yeah.
They're in their own
no,
world.
I haven't been up there yet, so I'm looking forward to going up there for sure.
Yeah. We kind of, up in Queensland, we just refer to all the Southerners as Mexicans, mainly the Victorians and the pointy heads down there in Tassie.
Yeah.
If there's a way we could like bring Tassie up and put Victoria down below the Bass Strait somewhere and swap Victoria for Tassie, because they are real strange dudes, the Vics, the Mexicans, and I usually don't mind the cockroaches except this time of the year. Absolutely hate them, Pete. And I've got
Here we go, mate. Here's your chance. Oh God, fuck! You've been waiting for this.
But I've converted you to be a cane toad, mate. You're a Maroon supporter.
Well, yeah. Well, I have to. I can't disagree with you. You said that you'd cut me off the feed, so
I don't know. There's not a lot of cockroaches on at the moment. New South Welshman. Here's another special guest from overseas, Pete. Mike Blakely from Colorado in the US of A, mate.
Far out. Wonder what time it is over there.
I don't know. It'll be Sparrowfart. It'll be Mike will tell us in a minute. It'll be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Mike always gets up in the middle of the night, mate, to watch the live feeds. And
what a bloody legend.
Richards and Steve W. and Scruffy Bollocks and that up in the UK. It's usually about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning over there. Scruffy.
Swamper. Swano, how are you, mate?
Yeah, there is a South and everyone. There is a South. Southern America, South and everyone else. Yeah, it sounds similar, Mike.
3 a.m.
We call it 3 a.m. Is it over there, Mike?
Jesus.
I know. Mike must leave.
That's a tough, bricky beer to swallow, mate.
Got to get up at 3 a.m. to watch me. Dead set.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that true, yeah. That's a tough, bricky beer to drink.
Yeah, but it's we appreciate it, Mike. Mike's on every
absolutely.
And he's one of the genuine guys from overseas, along with Andy Riches and Steve W. Phil Webber over the ditch in New Zealand.
Phil, yeah.
Some real good lads from overseas that tune in, and they're a great part of the community. The Nomadic Yowie, Chrissy Anderson's on. The Nomadic Yowie. Walsh got hit around his mascara line. Yeah, I know. They didn't miss him last night. And anyway, we won't talk too much about rugby league because Pete's not a big rugby league supporter. And
go ahead. I love watching the banter. I could see it when it was loaded.
And I don't want to talk it up too much yet, mate, because there's 2 games to go in a couple of weeks. There's a big one down at the MCG, which is the neutral territory game in Victoria. And then the 3rd game's in Brisbane, mate, on Queensland thing. So hopefully we can win the 2nd game.
And see
or 1 up. It's always good to be 1 up in a series, mate. I'd rather be 1 up than 1 down. So, but New South Wales, considering they lost, they got a man sent off in the 8th minute last night. They played the rest of the game with 12 men. The score didn't reflect how well New South. They had a real dig last night, and it was with 15 minutes to go. I was saying to Roz, I said, we haven't put them away yet. We got to put them away, and then it burst open then, and we put about 3 or 4 tries on, mate. But I was still nervous with 15, 20 to go. I thought New South Wales could bloody come back. Yeah, but they put up a good show last night, considering they only had 12 men. But anyway.
So, Bucko, can I ask, mate, what would you have worn tonight if you'd have lost?
Just be Buckaroony shirt or something, mate.
Very neutral, yeah.
Certainly wouldn't have worn a bluesing blue, let me tell you. It would have been a maroon Buckaroony top or something. But
mate, I said to my wife, I said, this is going to – I don't know how this is going to go. If they lose, this is going to be a very depressing freaking chat, eh?
I might have to cancel the live feed.
Yeah, and I would have hosted, mate.
If anyone's got their right eye on KO, the second women's state of origin is on tonight. And I'll tell you what, mate, years and years ago, the women's rugby league wasn't worth watching. It was shite. But
gotcha.
Now is very, very good. And the girls put some big hits on each other. So
magic, full contact, good stuff.
New South Wales is 1 up in their series, and the second
Yep.
game tonight from Newcastle in New South Wales. So if anyone's got another eye on KO, keep us up to date on the girls' score, please.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, how did you watch it then, Bucko? Do you have KO or no?
Yes, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got
it's
KO,
good, isn't it?
Mate. Yeah, it's good. I don't know how much it is a month, but it's worth it. And when I did my trip down south last year, we had Starlink at the time. I had Starlink.
Yeah, magic.
That is a good piece of kit, mate. It's a good piece of kit. And I used to sit on the iPad and watch the rugby league, watch all the games on a Saturday, sit down with a few beers and watch the rugby league, because down in Victoria and Tassie, it's hard to get that stuff. But on KO, I could keep up with all the rugby league, mate.
Yeah, so, magic. Yeah.
Swamper's on. There's a new name. Swamper.
I know him. Yeah, Swano. Cheers, buddy. Queenslander. I swear that's from a name.
Oh, there was a New South Wales coach, Tommy Radonicus, and one of our old players, Billy Moore, started the Queenslander chant when he came down the tunnel to run out on the field. He'd yell out, Queenslander, to pump the boys up. Tommy Radonicus,
gotcha.
He said, the first time they yell Queenslander out in the scrum, it's on. This is when you can fight. You're allowed to fight. Someone yelled out Queenslander in the first scrum, and it erupted for about 10 minutes, mate. It was just everywhere. But as
I'll be honest, being from WA, that's the only reason I'll watch the State of Origin. I just want to see Blues.
Speaking of another good YouTube channel, I just missed him by 2 things. Jossie Hatch, hey, West Australian.
Josh Hatch. G'day, Josh. Oh, nice. Maddie from West Australian.
Yeah.
Bloody champion.
Channel. Good stuff, mate. Thanks for tuning in. And as I said, Pete, if you see any other sand gropers on, mate, yell out, please.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries.
That was it, the cattle dog call. And the New South, if Queensland said Queenslander in a scrum, it'd be on. And if New South Wales, they had a cattle dog call, which means start a fight at all costs. The old cattle dog.
Oh, right. Awesome.
Because
that's cool.
They don't mind a scrap or two. Anyway, Pete, as I said, thanks for joining in tonight, mate. We'll start it off. We've said the shout-outs. A lot of people probably seen your channel, but don't know much about you. Like me, mate, I'm a bit of an open book. Everyone knows what I've done with my life and all that type of stuff. They probably don't even know what your last name is. So tell us a bit about Peter Clohessy, mate. Where'd you grow up? Where were you born? Where'd you go to school? Where'd you get brought up as a kid, mate? And tell us a bit about yourself.
Now my heart's pumping. But last name's Clohessy. There's a bit of bloody Irish blood in there, a fair bit actually.
How do you pronounce it, mate?
Clohessy. Yeah, that's what Clohessy, yeah, same thing. Yeah, but it's interesting making bloody restaurant bookings with that name, I'll tell you. But just born and bred in Perth. That's where I grew up. Bloody went to a tennis school actually in bloody Applecross. Got a scholarship there. You know, absolutely not a well-to-do family. I had to sort of catch 3-4 buses to get to school and play tennis all day. That type of stuff. But yeah, grew up doing that. And then found beer, and then now I'm a bricklayer. No, that's pretty much it. Oh, and my star sign's Libra. How's that for anyone who wants to go for a walk? You know,
that might be a
Bucko, that's it.
Prize giveaway question later on in a couple of months. What's Pete's star sign? Libra.
Oh, yeah, mate. Yeah.
Pad was named after, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Apparently, it means that you're balanced. I absolutely am not. Oh, mate, no, I don't know. Pretty simple bloke, actually. That's it.
Yeah, so West Austin boy, mate. Now, before I forget, have you been over east before, Pete? Like, have you seen much of the East Coast? Or I know a lot of Western Australians have never been east because it's cheaper to friggin' fly to Thailand or Bali, mate, than to the East Coast. And I know a lot of sand gropers have not been east.
No, well, I've been to Queensland, but only to the Brisbane terminal because I was flying out of there to go to New Zealand, actually. And then I've been to Adelaide, stayed in Adelaide for a couple of nights, and then went up to Harndorf in the hills. Bloody beautiful up there, by the way. But yeah, that's pretty much where I've been, mate. But I want to get my car over there. I want to drive over there. That's what I want to do.
It's a big country, mate, isn't it? It's a huge country, and I mean, it's when you fly over it. Cairns Perth is like a 5-hour flight, or Brisbane Perth. Yeah. It's a big country, mate, and it takes a lot. And to drive that is a massive haul, and it's probably cheaper to fly than it is to pay for diesel all the way across.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah. But I don't know. I speak to the old man, and the old man's done the Nullarbor, 3-4 times back in the day when it was sort of, not tarmac. And it's sort of like a normal, it was almost like a normal road trip back then, whereas it's something quite different now, I believe, but a lot easier, I guess. He did it in a fucking station wagon.
Well, I drove Brisbane Perth in a Mitsubishi Magna in 1997. When I got posted, the Army transferred me over to Perth, mate, for 4 years. And we drove over. Lauren was just a tiny little girl then. And it's a big country, mate. But you know what? It was amazing. The Nullarbor, people think the Nullarbor goes across the middle of Australia. It doesn't. Where the Great Australian Bight is, it's right on there, mate. And there's some camping grounds where you can camp. And you're on the edge of Australia, basically, and the next stop is Antarctica, mate. It is amazing.
Far out. Wow. Amazing. Yeah. Hey, Bucko, can I ask you something, mate? How was that, being stationed in Perth for 4 years? Is that literally like how long a notice do you get, before you have to move? And what's that like, uprooting your life and moving over?
What they do, I was at a signals unit at Enoggera in Brisbane at the time, and I was doing a 4-year posting then. So usually in your last year, around mid-year, your career advisors turn up at your unit and they go, "This is what we've got planned for you. We want you to go over to Perth, either on promotion." I didn't go over on promotion. I kept the rank that I was on at the time. And we want you to go over there and into this unit. And the posting was over to the SAS regiment, Pete, at Campbell Barracks at Swanbourne, mate. And I got to spend 4 years with the SAS boys. I wasn't SAS qualified. I was there in a support role. In the signal squad, the communication squadron, mate. And I got to work with the lads over there and do some good stuff, and went to East Timor with the regiment on operations. And they were good lads to work with, mate. Really good. It was a fantastic 4 years. So maybe 6 months notice, mate. And you can put in earlier where you like to go.
Right. I was going to ask you that.
You can put in preferences, but it doesn't mean you necessarily get it, mate. You'll get one of your 3 preferences normally, but they have to fill positions where they need people. But it was a big thing to uproot your family and move from Brisbane to I owned my own house in Brisbane at the time, mate. I wasn't in a married quarter. I owned my own house, and next thing you know, you're packed up, you're on the road on a road trip to Perth. And then as I said, I was lucky there at an Army married quarter at Swanbourne, literally a couple 100-metre walk from the beach, mate. You get home from work at Arvo, grab the dogs and the kids and go down and have a run along Swanbourne Beach. And it was just beautiful, mate. Perth. Probably the four best years of my Army career in Perth. I loved it. It was a wonderful place to be. And it was a long way away from my family, which were on the east. But Perth's a beautiful city, mate. There's no doubt about it.
I was just giggling to myself then halfway through. It might have sounded bad, but I was thinking, how you said, you choose one of 3 places. So you got it, did you, mate? Swanbourne, nudist beach, obviously, you got it. That's what you went for. Well done.
For those who don't know, the SAS regiment is at Swanbourne, and there's a beach called Swanbourne, and there's an actual Swanbourne Surf Lifesaving Club, and just up from that, and when the SAS boys were practicing their shooting and all that, they actually closed the beach off, mate, and no one was allowed on Swanbourne Beach unless you wanted the bloody 7.62 hole through your head, because they used to fire out, and they had boats out on the ocean, and there was a big template, and they actually had their boats out on there, and no boats were allowed to enter. It was pretty full on, mate.
Wow.
Absolutely full on.
Awesome.
Mate. Oh, mate. When we talked about it yesterday, mate, it was just walk down to Cottesloe on the weekend, have a coffee.
Mate.
To Perth. It was beautiful, mate. It was a really good place to be. Speaking of Perth, mate, we're going to show before we get on to you and your YouTube channel, we're going to have a little bit of a talk about Perth for blokes like
Beautiful.
Mike
Yeah,
Blakely,
sounds good.
Andy Riches and that, who probably don't know much about Perth. I've got a few pictures
Oh,
here.
Gidgy. Oh, Buck's brother, Gidgy. Hey, Gidgy.
Gidgy,
Legend.
g'day, mate. How are you? Gidgy's on. I'm going to go down and see Gidgy tomorrow, mate. I'm on my way down to...
So that picture there, that's actually my bike. No.
I knew you brickies got paid too much. Dead set.
Next tinny trip's going to be bloody beautiful.
Oh, you should do you should do that. Put the tinny on the Swan River, mate, and go for a spin around.
Oh, absolutely. No, I do. I do that a lot in summer.
It's a beautiful river, Pete.
Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the city of Perth there in the background.
Yeah.
And one of my favourite places that I used to love to go was Kings Park, mate, which
beautiful
overlooks the city. And the War Memorial is there. Absolutely fantastic. And underneath that War Memorial, mate, is you can walk down underneath that, Pete, as you probably know.
No, I don't know.
Oh, mate, you've got to go. Kings Park, underneath that memorial, you can walk down underneath there, and there's all the names engraved on the wall.
Awesome.
Of all the Western Australians that were killed during the war, mate. And the majority, when you look at World War One, there's a lot from the 10th Light Horse there, which, have you ever seen the movie Gallipoli, Pete? With Mel
absolutely.
Gibson?
Yeah. Mel Gibson, yeah.
They're charging at the neck, just one wave after the other, just getting mowed down. No hope. We weren't getting 2 steps out of their trenches. And the officer stands up and said, I won't ask the men to do what I won't do myself. And he stands up and goes, remember who you are, men. Men from Western Australia. Men of the 10th Light Horse. And they knew they were charging to certain death, mate. They went anyway. The boys went anyway. And when you go under that memorial, Pete, you have a look how many names are there. 10th Light Horse, 10th Light Horse, 10th Light Horse from Gallipoli. That was at the charge of the neck, mate. They just went one wave after the other.
Different breed, mate. A different generation. Would you get that now? I don't know, you know.
Oh, mate.
Sounds horrible, doesn't it?
I don't know, mate, but they were tough men back then. Just tougher generation than us, mate. But Pete, next time you're in the city, and you can get to Kings Park, go down underneath that memorial and have a look how many names are under there, mate, from the 10th Light Horse. And watch that snippet of the movie where they're charging it at a place called the Neck, the NEK.
Remember who you are. Wow, awesome.
10th Light Horse, mate. It was part of the Mel Gibson film Gallipoli.
Yeah, wow.
Another
nice.
Kind of my stomping ground, mate. I didn't live too far from Fremantle. The Fremantle markets, and for anyone who has never been to Perth, keep these places in mind. Freo markets, mate. What a great spot to go. Some great places to go.
Buzzing. Yeah, it's always buzzing.
On a Saturday, Sunday morning. Love the Freo markets.
Yeah.
And I asked you yesterday, have you been to this place?
Yeah, I didn't know this place, but I'm glad you brought it up.
I'm hoping it's still there. It was my favourite wood-fired pizza joint in Fremantle, a place called Sandrino. Absolute beautiful wood-fired pizzas, mate. Just
love it.
There all the time.
Yeah, bloody beautiful.
Me and Roz went there last time we were in Perth too, from memory.
Yeah, nice.
Probably one of the most famous places in Perth, mate, Cottesloe Beach. And,
oh my God.
That's the Indiana Tea House. I can't see the comments at the moment. And I was saying to you yesterday, mate, one thing you got to do when you go to Perth, everyone, is over on the left there, the embankments with the grass. You go across the road, grab some fish and chips, and you sit there at late afternoon, have fish and chips sitting on the grass, and watch the sun sink down into the Indian Ocean. And it's just amazing. Mate. Watching that sun, it's like the ocean puts the sun out. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's it.
Fond memories of Perth, mate. Absolute.
Yeah, that's good.
I think the last time I was there, we did exactly that. Roz was with me, and Lauren and Buzzy were still living in Perth at the time, and we sat there and had fish and chips on that thing and watched the sun go down into the ocean. And that night, Roz and I had to go to the airport and catch the plane back to Perth. So
got you.
Another view.
That tradition will never die, Bucko. I reckon getting fish and chips and going down to the water, you know.
It's a must-do when you go to Perth, Pete, isn't it? Like, especially for us on the East Coast. We're used to seeing the sun rise up from the ocean over there,
Yeah.
mate. You watch the sun get put out by the ocean every afternoon.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it is. Hey, Trav.
The only place you can see that in Queensland is on the western side of the Cape.
Yeah, you were saying that, yeah.
Western side of Cape York, Corumba and that, the Sunset Bar, you can sit there at the bar at Corumba and watch the sun go down over the ocean in the Gulf of Carpentaria. Similar thing.
Beautiful. Bloody beautiful.
Not as stunning as the Indian Ocean, mate. Just incredible. And the beaches in Perth, mate, there's probably 100 beaches like that in Perth, isn't there? They're just
absolutely there are. Yeah. But I reckon the best ones are when you do. Well, I think I know what's coming up, but coming down south, Bucko, just nothing better than having your car there, you know.
Oh, mate, and I'm so envious of you watching your YouTube channel, and you're with the boys, and you just drive down a sand track, and you're just on the most magnificent beach, and you got the whole place to yourself, mate. It's just
it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful
over there. Like Fraser Island's about the only spot where you can get decent beach driving in Queensland, mate. You know, but you've got it on tap over there. That place there.
Yeah. Look at
North
that.
The Blue Duck Cafe. You got to go there, mate.
Yeah, I know. It looks nice. That freaking veranda there looks nice, doesn't it?
And I was saying to you yesterday, mate, in 2000, there was a shark attack in Perth.
Oh, yeah.
People were having breakfast on the balcony of the Blue Duck thing. And old mate was coming out from his morning swim, and he was waist deep in water, and a 5-metre great white hit him and tore his leg off, and he was dead before he hit the beach, I reckon.
Shit.
Just incredible. That's my old work.
Pete from what now, 4-wheel drive? Absolute legend.
Campbell Barracks there. Campbell Barracks at Swan.
Oh, yeah, yep.
That's the SAS regiment there. And I was saying to you yesterday, mate, that tall tower there where they wash and dry the parachutes. When they
that's it. I remember you saying. How do they dry them? What are we talking? They hang them up, or we talking a leaf blower? Or
boys do a lot of water jumps and that, and they jump into the water. Or even if they jump out, they hang the parachutes up, wash them, and that's the drying towel for that. And then the parariggers repack them. Then, so you obviously can't pack a parachute. Obviously, if they've done a water jump or whatever, and jumped into the ocean.
Bit of an art to that, Bucko, to packing it again. Is there a bit of an art to packing it again?
Yeah, mate. It's an actual trade in the army, and they're actually.
Oh shit! Wow. A parachute packer,
parachute rigger, and they pack line and free-fall parachutes, mate. And every parachute they pack has got a number on it. That number is related to them, and at any time, their bosses can come up and go, "There's a jump tomorrow. You're jumping with your chutes," and they jump with their own parachutes. So, and then you'll find
you want to be doing it right. Yeah.
When they jump, they'll jump with a main chute with that number, and the reserve will always be by a different parachute rigger, mate. There's always
good shit. Yeah,
it's an actual trade, mate. An actual trade, parachute rigging.
Yeah,
as you can imagine.
Well, fair enough. Life and death, isn't it?
Yeah. Fremantle Port, mate. Where all your things.
Hey, Owen.
Yeah, that's where the.
Sorry, mate. Just saying good day to a couple of legends there.
Oh, that's all right, mate. Say good day to all the guys from Pete's channel that are joining in tonight. Thank you so much. Yeah, Fremantle Port, mate. That's a hustle and bustle place. Funny story, mate. I've got to tell everyone.
There's my second boat. So that's my other boat there.
The one on the back there. Yeah, that's the
Mine would be the tender for that boat, I think.
We're doing an exercise there one night. It was a counter-terrorist exercise, and I was playing the part of a hostage. So I was a hostage on a big container ship, and the SAS boys had to come on and rescue the hostages. Like it was called a ship alongside or whatever from the counter-terrorist squadron. So the captain of the ship, he said, on Friday night, the SAS boys are conducting counter-terrorist training on big container ship. And he told his crew not to be on board. They to be offshore. Well, anyway, one of them decided to stay on board and get a gut full of piss. Well, he happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when the boys stormed the ship, and he got treated as a terrorist, and he wasn't very happy. He got roughed up big time, mate. He had guns pointed to his head. He got zip-tied, sandbagged. He was like, friggin' what's going on here? Anyway, after the exercise, the boys were all down the bottom of the ship, and the exercise was over, and they're all, putting their gear away, and he's up the top of the ship. You bunch of assholes, and all this type of stuff. Because the boys rushed him up a bit, but he was told not to be there by the captain, and he was. And
exactly.
Oh, Quokka on Rottnest Island, another must.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said you were. This is a picture of Sherry, me wife.
Sherry,
she's in the other room. I'm going to get slapped as soon as I leave this room.
I'm waiting for something to fly through that door and get you in the back of the head.
Yeah, big skin kick.
Cute little cuddly bloody Quokka. That's a must-go place, mate, if you're ever in Perth, mate. Rottnest Island.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've been there many a time.
Yeah, and Rottnest is a Dutch word. As you know, the Dutch discovered the western part of Australia, guys, back in the 1600s. Rottnest is Dutch for rat's nest because they thought it was yeah. They're cute little fellas, eh? You can hand feed them.
They're so friendly, mate. Unbelievable. You hold as bad as it sounds, you hold a phone in front of them and they look like they're smiling to you. It's unbelievable. But
they're cute little fellas.
I don't know if that's legal anymore, is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. It would be a matter of time.
But they used to come into your accommodation if you're staying on Rottnest Island. They actually come in, if you left your door open, they used to come in for bread and everything. They know where to get a feed. Don't worry about that. Heading a bit south now, Pete, down where my daughter is, Bustleton. What a beautiful part of the state.
This is my favourite part of WA. At the moment, it has been for years. I haven't I haven't explored much of the far northwest of WA, but this is where I'd love to retire one day. I'd love to.
The southwest is stunning, Pete, of West Auckland. And I did a lot of, when I was in Perth, mate, we did a lot of stuff around the southwest. Little places called Pemberton and Manjimup and all these places. And a lot of the places in West Aussie end with a YUP or a UP, which is Aboriginal for by the water. So Manjimup and Nanup, everything's
Nanup,
which means there must be a body of water nearby, whether it's a river or a
gotcha,
or whatever. So but Bustleton,
all that.
Almost 2 kilometres long, Peter. I think it's the longest wooden jetty in the southern hemisphere, the Bustleton jetty. Yeah.
No, I walked that maybe about 2.5 months ago.
Did you really? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we went up to. I've never been to the observatory up the end, and it's absolutely awesome, but not what I expected. I'll be honest with you. I think I went there with high hopes, thinking it was like an aquarium. But it's like literally just like so when they were building the bridge, I believe I could be wrong here, that observatory was actually part of the construction of the building. It was and they just sort of left it there. It was part of the construction of the bridge, but they left it there because of it would make a great tourist attraction, and it does 100%. But we couldn't be stuffed waiting for the tram to come back, so we thought we'd stubbornly. I said, no, I can get us back quicker. Don't worry, and I did, mate. I did, but it was a headache.
But something I didn't know, and we'll talk about it soon. Your beer, your chosen beer, Shelter, is actually their brewery is right beside the Bustleton jetty now, mate.
Literally just behind you. It'd be behind you if you took that photo. It'd be about 100 meters behind you.
Well. And we'll talk about it later. When we come over in November, mate, you've got to meet us down there at the Shelter Brewery for a bloody for a beer, mate. That'll be, as I said last time I was in Bustleton, there was not the Shelter Brewery wasn't there, so it must have been 5 years or so.
Yeah, it would have been like within 5 years ago. Yeah, for sure, mate.
Okay,
you'd be stunned if you'd seen it, mate.
Yeah, but this is special. Lauren liked Perth, mate, but I think she's so happy she's moved down to Bustleton and she's got work down here as a speech pathologist and works out of Bustleton and Margaret River, which is once again near the Margaret River wineries, mate. Absolutely, if you're into your wineries and that, Margaret River, one of the best places in Australia to thing.
I could not agree.
That's called the Gloucester Tree, which is near a beautiful little town in the southwest called Pemberton, which was one of my favourite little towns to visit. Love Pemberton. And let me tell you, the old bloody think that was doing the 50 cent, 5 cent thing going up that, mate. Because I tell you now, it's 60 meters tall. That's a long.
That's not bad. Yeah.
And my ass was puckering on the way up and down there, let me tell you. But the view at the top, they got a little platform at the top, absolutely amazing. But you said that's closed down now, Pete.
Yeah, do you know what? A couple of the guys in the comments might be able to help me out there, like Matty and Travel, whatever. I believe that might not, or they might be lobbying to not have it in operation anymore. So I might, confirm with them. But Elvin from Adventuring Pals, hey mate, bloody legend.
Elvin,
always been a lovely bloke to me.
Yeah, mate, I've met up with Elvin a few times and his wife, mate. Lovely family. And last time we were in Harvey Bay, we went into Elvin's house and they put snacks on for us. And
what a
met
legend.
up with Elvin when they were here. And Elvin's wife was doing some work at the Innisfail Hospital. And we went around and said g'day. Yeah, so g'day, Elvin and family. Hope you're well, mate. The boys are getting big. Boys are getting big. Pete, when I was in,
who's that on the right? What a bloody looker.
Good-looking young rooster with a Cowboys
jersey. Not bad.
That could be a dead set giveaway. I was posted to Campbell Barracks at the SAS Regiment from 1998 to the end of 2001. So for 4 years, Pete. And that's where I used to love taking the kids out camping. That chair Lauren's sitting on is actually a bloody army folding chair. The old chair's millionaire, we used to call them. That was which I flogged out of the Q store. And that's my son Phil there. Phil used to love living in Perth, and that he used to go to Swanbourne High. And then
nice. Yep.
He closed down. He went to a place called Shenton College.
Shenton College,
Shenton College. But Phil was a Swanee High boy, and they closed about 3 high schools and created Shenton College. Lauren went to school at St Hilda's, mate. Private girls' school at St Hilda's in Perth. And,
gotcha. Awesome.
And then went on to university, and now she's a speech pathologist and just had her own kid. So that's a long time ago. Loz is only a little girl. Jessie, the dog there, beautiful dog. But that was a dwelling up. They used to love the kids camping at Dwelling Up. I don't know what the name of the river was there, mate, but it was just a beautiful.
It'd be the Murray, mate. I think it'd be the Murray River there.
Yeah, and bloody no crocodiles. You used to be able to get a little blow up dinghies and go for a ride. I used to love taking the kids there. And,
I think one of your viewers before asked if there were any crocs in Perth, but absolutely not.
No, you got to go.
I've got to ask you, mate. I've got to ask you, those shorts, I wish I could wear shorts like that, but is there a reason you've cut that photo off there? Is something hanging out on the other side?
I always used to wear rugby league shorts, which is I've got on there, and I used to do it on my YouTube channel. Everyone was always
I remember that.
I'm just waiting for your Jack's crackers to pop out. So I get paranoid now. So all I wear is these long ones that come down.
Oh, they're far too long.
Instead of watching the YouTube clip, everyone was waiting for me Jack's crackers to pop out.
Yeah.
And I was
that's the only reason I watched, mate.
So I'm not going to wear footy shorts anymore. But I always used to wear underpants when I was filming, Pete.
Yeah, sure, mate.
For that reason.
Yeah, righto.
Now, there's something you don't get over easily.
Yep.
All your viewers over there will know exactly what they are. All you Easterners, what are they called? I can't see the comments, Pete. Let me know if they're on the money there. What are those things called? And they're not
Marin. Marin. Big horse Marin. They are. They're big. Yeah. Hey, Bucko, you got to put up this comment here by Mark Lavelle.
Hang on, I've got to get out. Marky.
I literally nearly just lost it there.
Yeah, I know. They're big yabbies, Nicky. They're called Marin. Where's Marky Lavelle? Is a dead set diddly donk. Which one?
Yeah, that one. That comment there. Bloody hilarious. I lost it.
I'm still trying to find which one it is.
No, you're right. No worries. I'll see if I can see it myself. No, he goes, he watched a video of mine. Yeah. He thought it was a lie.
He put up a podcast 2 weeks back and had a few on the live feed was talking to myself in the comment section.
That's the best thing I've ever seen, mate. Honestly. Oh shit. Mark, that's the best, mate. You bloody legend. Oh. Oh my God. Absolutely brilliant. I love the honesty, mate. That's something I'd do as well. Oh, shit.
He is a Blues supporter after all, Pete.
Yeah.
Marky, he goes to the Blues, so that does not surprise me.
Oh, mate.
That is funny.
That's absolutely gold. Hey, Hunty, how are you, mate?
He's probably shaking his head at the end. Sorry, everyone. When I'm on the things there, I can't actually see the comments because I've got the thing. We'll get through these pictures and then we'll bloody come back to Pete and we'll have a. But they're Marin guys. You only get them in Western Australia, and
yeah, 1 month of the year.
Yeah, we used to go camping at a place called Honeymoon Pools near Collie.
Yeah,
and Lauren's uncle Grant, he used to get used to have to get a permit 1 month a year.
That's it.
To go marining, and they are absolute stonkers. I don't eat those. Gidgy Gorilla, he come over to West Aussie once, mate, and we actually bought some marin from a place, and Ken said they were bloody beautiful.
That's the only way I get them now, I'll be honest. I gave up on paying for the license, for like years. You pay 50 or 60 bucks, and it's like, nah, bugger this. I'll spend that 50, 60 just to buy one. All the effort you go through, I'm just hopeless, mate, you know?
It was like you're fishing, mate. You'd come back empty-handed all the time.
Do you know what's great? I know what's coming up, mate. I know what's coming up. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I know. Now, have a look at that. We're talking about Western Australia, mate. Some of the most, I keep going on about how stunning the coastline in New South Wales was, Pete. Honestly, mate, New South Wales, shit football team, stunning coastline. But everyone says, when you look at this, mate, Western Australia is hard to beat. That's at a place called Albany, Pete.
Beautiful. Albany's beautiful.
Australia. And I don't know if you know or not, mate. I took the kids to a place called Whale World down there. That's where they used to do whaling in the old days. And that's where the first fleet, not the first fleet that came to Australia, the first fleet that sailed out to World War I to Gallipoli left from Albany.
Shit, wow.
Albany, mate. Our troops left from Albany to go over and fight in Gallipoli. That's where the ships left from. There's another.
You imagine the feeling, Buck? You imagine that feeling being one of those guys on that ship.
They would have been. It would have been excitement at first, Pete. And then
do you reckon they would have known what they were going into?
Oh no, they wouldn't have known what, mate. A lot of them were farmers and country boys.
Oh, makes me feel sick, man.
Mate, when they went ashore, and that's what I mean, mate. Like they did us proud, mate. And I'm just
bloody oath.
I'm worried about our country now, mate. Where we're not living up to their standard, mate. We need to do better for them. I think they'd be right. We were
talking about that yesterday, weren't we?
If they saw how our country was going, mate, I think our Anzacs would be disappointed the way we're going. But we can turn our heads. For blokes like us, our age, Pete, it's for us to turn it around, mate, and get the country going in the right direction again. I think because our Anzacs would be shaking their heads, and our Kokoda veterans and that. I don't think they'd be happy if they were up there looking down.
Yeah.
I think they'd be shaking their heads at the moment, mate, which is a sad state of affairs. It really is.
Well, it's like what we were talking about yesterday, mate, strong men create good times create weak men create hard times,
Yeah. There's no truer saying.
Shortened it, but
there's no truer saying than that. Like, weak men create hard times. And but anyway, this is a place I want to take, guys, mate. Esperance, which is Esperance and Bremer Bay. Bremer Bay's on the way to Esperance. And my daughter sent me some photos from Esperance. Her and Buzzy went there a couple of years ago. My God, the colour of the water, the white beaches, and it's not just one or two. There's hundreds of them. Like, every beach looks like that beach.
Absolutely beautiful.
I've never been to Esperance. It's stunning.
Yeah, I've been to Esperance. Yeah, I've done from not far from the South Australian border. I've done the coastal trek down from Israelite Bay to Esperance, and I reckon that's up there on the best trip that I've ever done in my life. Incredible.
What's that one, mate? I didn't realise until I looked at the map exactly where you were. I didn't realise you were so far over towards South Aussie on that trip.
Yeah, 100%. But geez,
Yeah.
there's a lot that I missed as well, you know. But
Yeah.
I love that. I love that I miss shit because it's a great excuse to go back. And you know what? It actually is not that far a drive. You know, it's further to go up, right up far north than
Bit of
it
a
is to go,
giggle.
you know, towards the
Yeah.
cliffs there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's in the southwest, and that I suppose West Aussie's a big state. Everyone, you think
shit,
about
yeah.
how big Queensland is, and then New South Wales and Victoria. West Aussie's that the whole lot of that. Like it
Yeah,
goes use the whole western side of the continent, mate. It's a
yeah,
big state, and I've driven up as far as Karratha from
yeah,
Perth.
nice.
So once you get north of Geraldton, there's a lot of nothing. You don't
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
That is in Esperance, Pete. I actually had a look on the map.
Oh, good on you, mate. No, excellent.
Yeah, so that'd be worth. Imagine putting your drone up and seeing that,
Oh,
Pete, your film clip.
exactly.
Wow,
It's bloody beautiful.
If anyone's from your channels on, Pete, have a look at the comments. If anyone's seen the
Yeah,
Pink
well,
Esperance, let us know.
Anthony Wicks. Hey, Anthony, legend, mate.
Didn't know it was there, but there you go. Another famous place in West Aussie, which is up north of Perth.
Yeah,
Mate. So that's just a bunch of bloody tourists doing the surfing thing. And you and your brother Mitch, mate.
Yeah, me and Mitchy there, yeah.
Big Mitch, say good day for us.
Yeah, will do. And do you know what the crazy thing is about that? That's actually not Wave Rock at all. That's a completely different area. There are multiple rocks that are shaped like that in the Wheatbelt area, like east of Perth. I think this is out the back of Elac Budding Rock, it's called. That's what blows me away about the Wheatbelt of Western Australia. You see Wave Rock, and that's the tourist place, but you don't realise there's probably about 6 or 7 other places where no one's around, and you have that type of place to yourself. You know, it's just a matter of venturing out there, you know, and having a look.
So where is Wave Rock compared to Perth? How far up north would it be, Pete?
So Wave Rock would be about 3 hours, you know, more east of Perth, 3.5 hours east of Perth in a town called Hyden. And yeah, it's like the central, what would you call it, like the destination of that town. You know, that's basically all it's known for as far as I'm concerned. But it's amazing though. On this one, you can walk right up the rock and, you know, see like a balancing rock, and it's incredible. It really is. But I reckon this might be like an unpopular opinion. I think there's a lot better rocks around the Wheatbelt than Wave Rock.
Is that right, mate?
Hey, be gentle.
Has that been formed by water or by wind?
Great question. Not sure. No, I'm not sure, Bucko. I'm not smart enough, mate.
That's why you're a prison and I was a prison screw. We have no idea. If anyone knows, well, there you go. I thought that was Wave Rock, but it's not, mate.
Yeah.
You and your brother Mitch, who years ago, if for those who don't know, I've actually met Pete in person. Roz and I
Mitch, yeah.
We went over and we actually went to the 4-wheel drive show. And Pete and Mitch and Nathan Krieber said,
yeah.
we want to catch up with you. And we ended up at the blow-up bar. Remember, it was like a big blow-up bar?
Weird. That's weird that we ended up there, you know? we were heading off to the gym, weren't we? You know, it's weird.
We were going to do a film clip together, just a little interview. And I remember Roz was the sensible one. She said, if you guys are going to do this interview, you better start doing it now because you're all starting to slur your words. Me, you, Krieber, we were well and truly underway. The only sensible two, Roz and Mitch were the only sensible two there. You, me, and Krieber were getting the taste for it. But that was good. That was great to catch up with you and actually meet you in person there.
Yeah, it was. It was good times.
We actually met in person. We talked on the phone heaps and text heaps and messenger and done a couple of these together, mate. But this year, mate, we'll be catching up again, let me tell you, and hopefully catch up and do one of your, and we'll talk about it later.
Podcast. Yeah, I'd love that, mate.
One of your podcasts, mate. I'd love to do that for you, mate, because your podcasts are very, very good. Monkey Mire, which is another special place in Western Australia where you get to see the dolphins, the wild dolphins come in and be fed, mate. Yeah.
I love that. Absolutely beautiful.
And look at
Ningaloo, Coral Bay. And
that's where I get so jealous of watching you and Cam and all the other guys. Graham from Off Road Adventures, Braden from 4x4 camping and adventures.
Yeah.
Just driving down onto the beach, mate, you've got a beach to yourself and you can have a fish. Like just Shark Bay, Coral Bay, Ningaloo Reef, which they reckon is almost as spectacular as the Barrier Reef for diving.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of
100%.
people say the Barrier Reef's copped a lot of cyclones and all that, mate. And they reckon Ningaloo Reef for snorkeling, and that is up there with the Barrier Reef. So,
mate, and you've got to realise that, you know, Ningaloo, Coral Bay and Exmouth, that's sort of like Exmouth is a 12 to 13 hour drive from Perth. But there are beaches all the way up, mate, all the way up there that you can drive on. And so, you know, like you can go like an hour and a half from Perth down to even Preston Beach or White Hills or something, and drive further enough down that beach that you've got it to yourself most of the day, except for long weekends. But it's incredible how good it is, you know. And sometimes I feel like we bloody take it for granted. Yeah. And, you know, talking to you helps me with that because it's such a normal thing over here, mate, you know.
We get so jealous when we see that, mate. When you just drive down onto a beautiful white beach, you got it yourself, throw a line in, have a cook up on the beach, and I'm just thinking,
so lucky, mate.
I wish we could do that, you know. And they reckon Australia's got that many beaches, Pete. If you went to a beach one a day, it'd take you 21 years to see every beach in Australia. Probably take you 10 years to see all the West Aussie ones, mate, you know.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just look at the water, mate. There's not much inland. There's not much on the land. That's when the Dutch settled. The Dutch come over in the 1600s and they landed up here and went, we're out of here. What a shithole. Well, they just saw the land and went, there is nothing. We are out of here. And the Poms ended up claiming it, thank God. But Exmouth, where
beautiful.
One of my favourite YouTube channels, Brody from Youngbloods, mate, he's up there in Exmouth, and boy, oh boy, doesn't he? Like, he's just does so much for Tourism Australia, that guy.
What an absolute genuine lad too.
So many Yanks on there just going, this bloke is like, and some of the video stuff he does is David Attenborough type shit, mate. It's just incredible.
Yeah, beautiful.
You haven't been up. I haven't been here, Pete. I've only been as far as the Pilbara region, which is around Exmouth and that.
Yeah,
I've been to Kimberley, mate. I haven't.
No, nor have I, mate.
Have a look at that.
Incredible.
Mate. And one thing we do want to see is on one of
That's more like my boat, mate. That's more like me.
Go through the horizontal falls in your tinny.
Done. Deal.
I reckon you'd have to have about 25 beers under your belt to have the Dutch courage to have a crack at it.
Yeah, I reckon so too, mate. But I reckon I would after that many. Hold on. Here we go. That's more like my titty there, mate. That's realistic.
Oh, mate, I call all for adventure. When Simon and Jason went through there, and they had a big donk on the back of their 130 horsepower or something on the back, and they only just made it through, mate. It was shooting them sideways. Unbelievable. The tides are like 10-metre tides up there in the Kimberley. Yeah. Just incredible. Righto, mate, that's enough for West Aussie. Let's talk about you and your YouTube channel. And the 76, we know you got a bloody 76 series Toyota Land Cruiser. How's she going, mate? I know you haven't done a lot to it, but it gets you everywhere you need to go, Pete.
No, it's funny you say that, mate. I literally, well, not really funny. It's not that funny a story, but I a couple of weeks back, I filmed a video doing like not a review, but more of like a advice video. And maybe, you know, I've owned a Land Cruiser, you know, that one there specifically for 10 years. I've put just over 200,000 kilometers on that. And it was a video to sort of say, you know, this is what experiences I've had from it. These are the pros, these are the cons, and this is what I love about it. This is what I bloody hate about it. And the funny thing is, the shit parts about that car outweigh the good parts, which is crazy. But there's something, the one or two good things about that car outweigh all the cons. It's crazy, but
is that right?
For the amount they charge for them cars, it's a bloody joke. But the reliability, I think you're paying for that engine and stuff like that. I think that's what it is. But I filmed this video, and the whole thing was out of focus. It's like 20-minute video, mate. I've got to reshoot it. So that was the first time I've ever had to do a reshoot. It's
gut wrenching when you do that. When you get home and you you go on a camping trip and the audio hasn't worked or whatever. It's shattering, mate, because and people don't realise when you've got a YouTube channel, Pete, we put a lot of bloody time and effort into it behind the scenes. Even though it's a hobby, we put a lot of time and effort into it, mate. And when it doesn't work, it bloody pisses you off.
100%. And the thing is, it's like I got cocky because I just changed like my camera setup. More changed it just because it has an unlimited recording time for the podcast. And I thought, beautiful. I can use this as a run and gun for my channel. And I went from a Sony to a Panasonic. And then I realized that Sony has incredible focus ability and incredible technology as far as that goes, but Panasonic doesn't share that. So I've really got to get used to that. But I learnt it the hard way, I guess, But hey, at the end of the day, mate, I'll just go up and have a couple of beers to that, that location that I told you about. It's only 12 minutes from my house. I'll reshoot it, have a couple of beers, light a fire. That's fine.
Nah, good stuff.
But shit happens.
So just on that, you said there's more cons than pros. Give us some of the pros to the 76. Just going on that, I'm back on to watching Ronnie Dahl, mate. Ronnie Dahl's back to what he used to do best, mate, doing reviews and doing honest
tips and tricks,
and less bloody promoting everything. I love Ronnie's back to his roots, mate. He's got the new 2.8 litre 76, and he outdoes his bloody worked V8 on a caravan, Pete. The new 2.8s, mate, have got some get up and go.
That is what I've heard. Absolutely. And that seems to be the stigma surrounding those new ones. I'll be honest, I'm not 100. I've got to be straight up. I'm not 100% convinced because it seems to be there's a lot of people using, of course it's a recent release, and there's a lot of people using that phrase V8 killer. Now, he's the guy for that type of stuff. I'm absolutely not that guy for that type of stuff. But I don't know if at the end of the day, it's a smaller engine. I feel like it might be, of course, it might perform the V8s, but I feel like it might be working a bit harder. I could be totally wrong here. I'm just a bit of a simple mind like that, but I reckon time will tell,
Yeah. Will they still be as reliable in 10 years?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. After 3 years of bashing around,
You're wringing its neck for 10 years, and it's going to give way. We don't know about that yet. I know Andrew St. Pierre White from 4X Overland. Andrew's pretty impressed with the new 2.8 Troopy. And I know Ronnie looked a bit disheartened when the four-cylinder outdid his tuned V8, mate. And
I know. That's pretty good.
He just couldn't believe it. But anyway, so as you said, Pete, time will tell. Back on to the question, some of the good things and some of the bad things about the V8 76 series Land Cruiser.
Mate, I mean, I don't know how long we've got left, but the bad things will take me a while. But no, the bad thing is it's like literally they're very uncomfortable. They're like a tin shed on wheels. They're very, very loud. The technology is bloody hopeless. For what you pay, you get one cup holder from stock. The speakers, I think I've got a stronger speaker in my CB radio. There's so much more. There's so much more. I did it in the video, so I memorized it pretty well. But then the positives for me, the reliability. And that's number one. That trumps everything. At the end of the day, because I like solo camping a little bit myself. I want to know, and I can hand on heart say that's gotten me home every time. I've had a little few things wrong with it, but touch wood. It's nothing that an OBD reader can't clear codes or something like that. But it's been the best bloody car I've ever owned. And there's something I cannot explain, and I'll ramble on about this in the video that I do release. It's like the feeling you get when driving this car is unmatchable, I believe, by any other car. And the sound that comes out of them, mate, from an exhaust from a diesel blows your mind. I don't know. There's a feeling about it. I can't explain it, mate. Yeah,
I remember hearing it. Is it that big sand dune you come up off the beach down south, Calcup or something?
Yeah, Calcup Hill. That's it, mate. Spot on.
You hear the big V8, the note of the V8. It does sound good, mate.
No, they do, mate. They honestly do. But it's the reliability, and that motor is tried and tested. I mean, I'm sure there's not much would disagree with me, except for the Nissan guys. Matty, mute yourself, please. Mute yourself.
Oh, mate, unbelievable. That's a good photo of you, mate. That's a
oh wow! Look even wider.
I don't know. Yeah, Sherry's a bloody lucky woman, I tell you.
Oh, that's what I try and say. I tell you, mate, I really do. I tell her that a lot. But then I find myself setting up my swag in my backyard a lot as well.
Speaking of swag's your favourite camping, mate? Like that's what you prefer to do, the swag on the stretcher? Any thoughts of ever going to a camper trailer and maybe you got two young girls, mate, and taking the family camping? We'll see that on WA Camping Adventures.
No, I'll stick to that 100%. You won't ever see them on a screen on the channel at all. Even on my social media, is nothing. I want to keep them off that, and I'm very stuck to that. But as far as camping with them, 100%, Bucko. It's either I've got this nice little inflatable tent, so bloody beauty by a company called Zempire, unreal. But if I'm ever going to go proper camping with them, Cam and Tiff have invited us vanning with them. Or my cousin Jared and Vicky, whenever I go with them, I'll do like I'll just hire a van. It's that easy, mate. It's that easy to hire vans now.
Yeah.
Because I reckon when you go with your family, you need to have a few of the luxuries, I feel.
Yeah, especially for the girls, mate. You've got 3 girls there. They'll want to have a toilet and all that sort of stuff. Mate, may I ask why is it something Sherry doesn't want to do, mate? Or I know Graham Cahill is another one. And he said to me at the Perth 4-wheel drive show, I said, Graham, are you married? He goes, yeah, mate, I'm married with kids. He said, but you'll never, ever see my family on camera. And it's another thing. And you've said exactly what Graham said to me. What's the main reason behind that, Pete?
Well, one reason it's like I just want to keep them to myself. And then without saying too much, I know that from experience who I've spoken to, it's so easy for someone to find out, what their names are, what school they go to, and I can't risk that. I don't know. And there's also, I'll send you, once we get off this stream, I'd love to send you a video of like just someone doing this video that sort of shows that when you do put your kids and stuff online, it's on there forever. Even if you think you've deleted your Facebook profile, it's on there forever. And these people can trace that shit, and it ends up in horrible places. And I hope that people can maybe read between the lines there, but I don't want to take a.
No, fair enough, mate. You got 2 young girls, and I totally understand, mate. Because
mostly selfish, mate. I just want to keep them to myself, and filming, as you know, mate, the time that filming does take, I don't want to be doing that shit on a family holiday. No way.
No. And that's right. And a lot of people say to me, "Oh, we don't see enough of Roz and that." Roz doesn't want to be on camera and doesn't like getting on camera and that, mate. She's a shy girl and a private person and that. And I probably forced her my old channel a bit too much, mate. So people have got to realise that.
The hard thing about that, Bucko, is as a viewer, mate, I absolutely love when you and Roz get on together. I do. But I also understand, her side of it being personal and stuff like that. It's hard because that they would be a really great attraction if people could see what I see in Sherry and my girls, 100%. But there's no way I'm taking that risk, eh? That's just something I've always stuck to, eh?
Absolutely fair enough too. Yeah. And I know what you mean, mate, is when you go out with the boys, you can bring the GoPro out and blah, blah, blah. But I did that on our trip when we retired. We went on a trip together, and the friggin' camera got in the way of us having a good time. And it all came about YouTube, mate. And people, it was like you got to feed the beast. People in the chat room going, "Why haven't you done this? You haven't been off road yet. Why haven't you done this? We haven't seen enough free camping." Everyone's dictating to you what you should be doing on your family holiday. And I was friggin' over it, mate. I was over people telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing when I was with Roz. And that's one of the big reasons the camera got in the way of a good family holiday, Pete. Exactly what you said then, mate. So you're a bit smarter than me. It took me 40-something things to realise that, hey, this – and you know what? When I did fold the channel and I did the rest of the trip and I was just seeing the country through my eyes rather than a GoPro, it was so much better, mate. It was so much better. But,
I'm glad you brought that up, mate, because I wanted to mention this because it was the same when Michael from Seek Adventure, when he quit YouTube. I thought it might have been a joke when I seen the thumbnail, and then I had the same feeling when you didn't show up for a while. You know, I had that same feeling, and when you did confirm to me that you'd given it up, it was the same feeling as I had with Mike from Seek Adventure. I didn't get bugger all sleep that night. And I remember thinking, I questioned myself. I think, you know, the effort you put in, you know, is it really worth it at the end of the day? And I guess as bad as this sounds, like you leaving as well, I'm glad that you're back. Don't get me wrong, but it helped me question myself, and it helps you sort of realize what you're doing it for. Yeah. Sometimes and like you said, feeding the beast, you can get bloody caught up in that little box. It can take over your life. You don't realize you could almost change as a person without even knowing it. Yeah. But I'm lucky that I've had family members or close mates, the guys know who they are, that might pull me up when I'm being a bit of a dick or when it does take over too much. And it's psycho. No one ever sort of speaks about that, I guess. You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's so fun. It's the best thing I've ever done with my life. But there's been times I've had to rein it back. That's for sure. Yeah.
Have you had much, Pete? Have you had much behind the scenes, mate? I get a lot of kickback because I'm very opinionated on a lot of, especially on politics and stuff like that. And if I don't agree with something, I speak my mind. Do a lot of live feeds. I have rants, and not everyone agrees with me. I don't expect everyone to agree with me. The fact I'm an ex-copper and a prison officer, there's people out there that probably cop haters.
Target you. Yeah.
I put myself out there, and people know my background and that, and I've got a lot of negative shit come in. And I've got thick skin, mate. Don't get me wrong. I've got thick skin.
Yeah.
Have you copped much of that? I mean, from what I see, Pete, your channel, very positive, mate. You get a lot of positive feedback. You love your channel. I can see how passionate you are, especially on your tinny trips, how you just love being out there, mate. But do you get much negative shit in the background at all?
Absolutely have got negative stuff. No worries at all. But then it's like, again, from this shit, like you learn to realize that there's some knobheads out there. There absolutely is. And do you know what's helped me a lot? It's like that ratio on your YouTube studio that tells you the ratio from likes and not likes. That I love that. But obviously I'll feel like I've done something wrong if I do get shit comments. But I try and, as bad as this sounds, I absolutely do have views on political matters and all that bullshit. I try and stay very neutral about that. I do have my views, but I try and shut the hell up on my own channel. But any negative comments I do get, unless when they're very personal, as in about like my appearance, my weight, all that bullshit, I'll delete them straight away. But when it's something quite credible, I'll invite them to talk about it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I reckon 90% of the guys who have left shit but credible comments have backed down as soon as I've sort of invited them to talk about it and opened it up to a bit of discussion. They're like, no, I love it, all good. So I've been very lucky, mate. I've built an awesome little community like you have. I've always said that. I've said that back with my podcast with Cam. I said I just want a nice little community like you've built. Well, yours is not little, but I'm just saying I want that. You know what I mean? I just want to keep the people who watch happy. I think that's about it. I don't know.
Yeah, mate. And we have got good communities, mate. I'll challenge any of the big boys out there on the block, whether they've got a better community following them.
Yeah,
that will bend over backwards for charity and all that type of stuff. A lot of the people you see in this chat room here, mate.
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah,
$60,000 for charity over the years. Like, be good to see. Oh,
that's incredible, man.
Yeah, Jesus, getting I had the window closed. So my neighbour can't hear me, but it's too friggin' hot with the window closed. But yeah, we've got good communities, mate, and you and Kim have done some Patreon camps and that, and you get to meet all the good people behind you, mate. And mate, I
Really
know
do.
I've met a lot of the people in here at camp ups and that, real good people, really good people, and they're the ones that stay beside you, you know. And you get the negative comments, and you got to think, you know, when I get negative comments and they're from people I know and that, I know I may have said something wrong or whatever, and they'll chip me if I do say something wrong, mate. I've got mates out there that'll chip me if I say something wrong.
And that's what's great about it all. My own cousin literally did it to me a couple of weeks ago. Just pulled me up a little bit about how I was being, and I'll never, ever lose respect for him about that.
Good stuff, mate. Absolutely bloody brilliant. Well, we only got a few photos to go, and we'll keep going there. This one here, this is the photo that got me voted as the worst fisherman on YouTube because you actually caught a friggin' fish. And
that is pitiful over here, mate. I need to clear that up. That's absolutely pitiful here.
That's a little flathead, but it's better. It's one better than I got. And there was jokes going around about who's the most useless fisherman, you or Pete from WA Camping. Well, you had to go and land that pissy little flathead, and it sunk me, and I've copped nothing. And this is the type of shit I cop from my community. That was sent to me.
Oh, shit, man. That's the best I've ever seen.
Because you caught that fish, I cop shit like that now from my community, mate. Unbelievable.
That's gold.
I forget who actually sent that to me, but they're smart asses, whoever they are. Mate, we'll get on your YouTube channel. Like me, you love doing cook-ups. You're always over there, you love cooking up over the fire. All the boys that you go out camping with love their cook. I love how so-and-so will do this cook-up, and then you go around with your camera. What are you cooking? What are you cooking? And whatever.
Mate.
You love your cook-ups. I talked to you yesterday about you don't do a lot of camp oven cooking on whatever. You rather just do simple type of stuff. What are your go-to meals and that when you're out camping with the boys, mate? What are some of your go-to things that you feed the boys with?
Yeah, so it's funny. I'm glad because I chatted to you about this yesterday. It's sort of more about like, especially like filming and stuff. Oh shit! I hope I don't sound like a whinger here, but it's more like filming all day and stuff like that, and then you do a cooking challenge at night. Literally, the last trip on the Holland track went to do a cooking challenge, but everyone was rooted. So it's like, nah, look, all good. We'll just make it another time or whatever. But it with the cooking now, I've sort of learned not to try and do extravagant shit on the road because you bug it all day and you want to sort of film other guys and stuff like that. But that's a great thing about that land that I've sort of got access to. It's 12 minutes down the road, Bucko, and I can sort of go there and really experiment. And that's what I'm looking at. And I'm getting so excited about it because I have missed doing good cooks. Like I literally cook every weekend. Just before we started this podcast, I want to talk to you about doing a podcast, mate. You starting one, but sorry. Before the podcast, every weekend, me and Shez meet up. Not meet up, but chat to each other midweek and sort of plan what we're going to cook on the weekend. And that's a big part of my life, you know. I mean, look at me. I do enjoy a bit of a nice meal, but I love cooking. And the good thing about cooking out in bush is that you don't really have to worry about a bin too much, you know. Off-cut onion, just ditch it over there, you know. It's great.
Yeah. And the last thing, too, you don't want to be doing 80,000 dishes when you're out camping, mate. Washing up is the biggest pain in the ass out camping. It really is.
I could not agree more.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can cook something up over the fire on a single hot plate, or I've got that little thing that you fold the legs out, the Bidgie barbecue.
Yeah, really I love that.
I reckon if you got a Bidgie, mate, you'd love those things because I know
I know.
Over the fire. They fold flat, really simple. So New South Wales, Hill in the girls' origin. So we're off to a bad start there. So yeah.
This is where the live will go downhill now.
Margie Lavelle talking to himself again.
Oh shit! I'll never forget that now.
I was there to see that. Mark's sitting there chatting with himself in the chat room, and he's going, "It's a friggin' podcast."
Shit, I might be able to go and dig those comments up. I'm gonna. No, Mark, you're right, mate. We're chatting back. How good, Bucko? Honestly, mate, are you gonna bloody start an audio podcast or not?
Who, me?
Sorry, mate, I had to lay it on you.
No, I'm not. This
should.
This is my podcast here, Pete. Is doing live interviews with blokes like you and Cam and John over in Oregon and that, mate. I love doing just live. Well, to me, this is like a video podcast.
A video, yeah, of course. But there's got to be a way that you can put this onto, Spotify or something like that, just the audio, because you've got a good catalogue now,
Yeah, I know, mate. I'm spewing because I've done a couple now with Andrew St. Pierre White. What an interesting guy to do Andrew is a very interesting guy to do a live feed. We did one day, 2.5 hours, and he was talking about when him and Gwen were in the Okavango bloody up north in Tanzania or Botswana, mate, and tell about the elephants used to come in, and I was just sitting there in awe, mate, of his stories.
Yeah.
He's a good storyteller, Andrew, and a lot of people with Andrew go, I don't know about him because but I'll tell you what,
I was just going to say that
guy in real life, he's a real genuine down to earth bloke. You think I approached him at the Perth 4-wheel drive show, and he was by himself. He had no one around him, and I thought I built up the courage to go up and say, "Hey, Andrew, I
remember that video.
A little YouTube channel." I thought he'd tell me to piss off. That was I thought he'll go piss off, little fella, And I said, "Do you mind if I do a little interview with you?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And he was just such a down to earth guy, and we talked about rugby and. He was born in England and then moved to South Africa and Australia, and just a real interesting guy. I still love watching Andrew's clips, mate. He's another one. He's the
YouTube David Attenborough, I reckon.
Yeah, he is, and that's what he's been known as. But he's a good storyteller, and if he doesn't like something, he bloody tells them, and he says to companies, "If I don't like your product, I'm going to tell people that I don't like it." And a lot of people are a bit, don't want to work with him because of that. Which I admire, mate. He's honest.
Yeah, Bucko, and that's exactly what I was going to say. He's unapologetically himself, even if it rubs people the wrong way. That's great. Like, he's done a lot of rant videos, I understand, but I still have worlds of respect for him. I don't know if I'd tackle it the same way, but I've got to respect that, the unapologetically honest freaking route, because the thing is, though, he's good at what he does. You can't stuff with that. And the one thing you've also got to notice is that he's not faking a goddamn thing. And there are a lot of people out there now who are wearing a mask, and it's bullshit. Especially on YouTube,
Yeah.
It's like playing a character.
Yeah. And we go down the rabbit hole where
Lewis Cadillac, bloody legend.
Lewis is over in West Aussie there, mate.
Yeah, he's a beauty, mate.
He's another sand groper. It's hard, eh? We talked about Cam. He's a good mate of ours, mate, and Cam's gone pro now, and I've already seen the negative comments starting to creep in on Cam's channel. I never, ever saw a negative thing on Cam's channel, but when you go pro, you've got to make $1.
Yeah, you do, and that's the thing.
You've got to change. I know Cam will try and stay true to himself, and when he does his thing with Tiff and the kids, it's like Cam's down to earth and all that. But you've got to try and make $1, mate, and that's where you start promoting companies, and that's where people start getting offside with you. And I know when I was in with Drifter, mate, I was Drifter this, and people were saying, "Oh, you Mr. Drifter. All you do is talk about Drifter," and when you get too tied up with companies, mate, people start calling you out on it. And
definitely. And it's a hard line to walk. It really is. And I do it myself, Bucko. I absolutely promote companies that would make me money as well, with the discount codes. We were talking about that last night. But the thing is, I've got to say, I understand what it would be like for someone like Cam or any other full-time YouTuber.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as a viewer, it's absolutely noticeable. But Cam knows that it is noticeable. But shit, man, what do you do? This is something that feeds your family,
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Do people understand that? I'm not sure. I don't know. I do not know. It's a hard one for me to comment on. But I know that Cam's a bloody stand-up bloke, you know.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And him and Tiff are one. I'm looking forward to their trip around Australia.
Bloody hell.
Good YouTube channels come out of West Aussie, Pete, isn't there? Like
a couple of beauties.
Braden, I think his name's Braden from 4x4 Camping and Adventures. Ian Reinders from Great Off-Road Adventure.
There's literally probably about 5 or 6 blokes here in the chat now, Bucko, that are just not appreciated enough. And that I'll tell you what, we could do a whole nother bloody chat about this, how people aren't appreciated for how good they are. Like Trav from Trav's Adventures. You got Steve from Old Mate's Adventures. You got Matty from West Australian. He's appreciated. He's doing well. But you see these people who are sensationalizing this, you know, the fucking clickbait thumbnails and all that stuff. They're feeding the beast. They're doing that hard, you know, and I don't know. I've got to this could go a whole nother bloody chat, mate, but it's like, I don't know.
If I ever see a thumbnail from you going, oh my God, what went wrong? The wheels fell off the 76. I nearly destroyed the 76. I'm going to hit you with a cricket bat over the head.
No, good. And I want you to do that. I did one. I've already done one.
People like a big dramatized thing. It's like, I feel like punching the computer screen when I see that shit. It's like, just put a thumbnail up of a campfire or people will watch it, but everyone's dramatized. I almost rolled this. We almost
and that's what it is.
And it's good. People want to click on it. And as I said, I did it once, mate, and it wasn't for clickbait. I did it as a thing. I did it on our big trip.
I saw it, yeah.
I said, it's over, trip's off, it's divorce. Because Roz said one night, we're sitting around the campfire, she goes, the Cowboys were on a losing streak like they normally are. And she goes, I'm off the Cowboys. I'm going to go for the Dolphins. And that's her Dolphins stubby cooler. I'm going for the Dolphins, which one of the new teams in the NRL. So I jokingly put up a thing. It's off, you know, divorce. And within 2 minutes or 3 minutes of the clip, I said, Roz is off the Cowboys. She's going for the Dolphins. It was
early. It was very early in the video.
People were up me for clickbait and deceiving them. And all the people that said it were not people in here. It was arseholes that had just come on because they wanted to see a bit of controversy and all that shit. But everyone does that now, mate. Everyone's
they're like watching other people suffer.
My caravan, I almost sunk the caravan. The waves nearly got me, and they're there. The wife's going like this, and it's like, piss off. I'm sick of seeing that shit.
And it is like that. It's like that's obviously them feeding the beast. And I, to a certain extent, I do understand that. But then there's also that side where, you know, like for example, you putting up that video. People should know you well enough, your viewers and stuff like that should know you well enough that you're a larrikin. Do you know what I mean? I think I did a podcast on this as well, talking about, do you trust your content creator? Because there's a lot of guys out there, and it's going to sound pretty bad actually, peddling absolute bullshit. And the thing is, it's like, have you watched this content creator for a long time? Do you trust what they say? And that's where the ball goes into the viewers' court. I mean, if I saw that video of yours, watched it, and I thought, nah, I absolutely know this is a piss take. I absolutely know it, because I know Bucko. I've been watching him for years. He wouldn't do me like that. But I don't know. It's hard, man. Trust is a big thing. You break it once, you're gone.
Mate, I was getting 5 or 6,000 views a clip. That one got like 23,000. And the other 15,000 were people that never watched the channel. They just must have saw a thing saying, "Oh, here, what's going on with this bloke?" And everyone in here, Lorna McMillan and Terry G, they all knew it was a piss take about Roz going for the Dolphins, and it was like, but I was putting things up down in Victoria and having jokes about Aussie rules, and you know, I just got over the border into Victoria, and there was an Aussie rules field. There's 4 posts, and I said, it's the only game I know where you can miss and they still give you a point. Well,
I love that. That's
good. Up in arms, mate. They were up me because they go, "Who's this arsehole rubbishing our game?" And then I said something about they run around in tight shorts and jump on each other's backs. Well, they're up there again. And then I...
Bucko, but in a way, mate, yeah. Do you know what's great about that, though? It's almost like, you were saying to me last night that there's that grind. I've been doing it now 6 years, and I feel like I've got a great community behind me. But in the eyes of anyone who's just come onto my channel, I'm actually doing appallingly for the numbers over that time. But I've found that I've learnt this from other, watching other YouTube guys that are close to me as well, that I don't want that. I don't want to blow up. I don't want to do clickbaity videos. I don't want to do, this versus this, because I don't know. I know what I know. I just like filming my trips. That's it. But I like my little community, and I'd like it to stay that way. I think I truly do.
Mate. And you can see that when you watch your channel, Pete. Yeah, you give a few little companies a plug. They help
Absolutely,
you out.
I do, and I'll stand by that.
There's nothing wrong with that, Pete. There's nothing wrong with that, mate. And it's still a little, as you said, it's a little side gig for you. You're still a bricklayer by trade, working with your dad, mate. You work hard, and it's still a hobby to you. And you can see that we're working. There's probably some of the mates there laughing.
I'm waiting for him to pipe up. Yeah.
Mate, let's backtrack a little bit. What made you get into YouTube? You said about 6. What made you go, I want to start doing camping YouTube clips? What was the inspiration behind it?
So I remember I was watching Alex from Intense years and years ago, but I think I was actually watching Drifter back when I first got it would have been earlier than that, but watched Luke do a heap of walkarounds of his factory and when he was building his own stuff. Loved all that stuff, and I thought, magic, awesome. But every year we do it like a boys trip on grand final weekend to a local place, maybe 2.5 hours away, and I'd love just putting together a highlight reel. That's the shit I still love now. Putting the music to it and stuff like that. This is the weekend we had bloody fun. And then all of a sudden I thought, bugger it, I'll do a little highlight reel because I've just gotten the cruiser. I've been watching Alex from Intense for a long time, and he's the main one who actually inspired me to start it. So I just started throwing shit up onto YouTube. Got, I remember the number, my first video, 24 views in a month. And then all of a sudden, it was. And you start with that. You 100% started
there, mate.
Hey, you put 24 people in a room, mate. I bet you can't talk in front of them. I'd shit myself.
No, that's good stuff. And Alex, another guy who got sick of the trolls, mate, unfortunately, was very good in front of the camera and got sick of all the people rubbishing him and that. And another guy who just disappeared off the face of the earth, which is a shame. I thought he was coming back. I'm not sure. Pete, we're already up to where we said we were going to call it quits, but we still got
mate, no, that's all right. It's all silent back here, mate, so all good. Hey, I just wanted to bring that up. Alex has actually been on, I'm yet to edit it. He's been on my podcast, and he explains all that stuff as well. And Ty, man, thank you for sticking around, dude. He put a comment up just a minute ago saying we film what we love to film, I'm pretty sure. That's it. That's mint. And I love him, and I love how he loves his Fords, and I know that about him, and he's stuck with that, and he's a genuine dude, and that comes down to it. It's like, how he put you onto Jackery, mate. Yeah,
mate. Yeah.
So you trust him enough to trust his word, and I think that's what it's all about,
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. We're getting on to it, but speaking of your podcast, Shelter, mate.
Love him. I truly do.
And you've got a brewery on board. Is there anything else a YouTuber needs except a brewery that gives them a couple of cartons a month and a butcher that gives you a couple of steaks to go out camping? That you've got
I have made it. That's in my book, mate. I've made it. I just need to get Coles on board for their milk now. That's all I need.
Million subscribers and 100,000 subscribers. Pete's got Shelter, who gives him a couple of cartons of piss to go out camping, and a butcher who gives him some steak and some snags. That's all a YouTuber needs, mate.
That's it. 100%. 100%, mate.
And I didn't realise, Pete, that shelters can't. How did you get onto shelter, mate? How did they go? This diddly donk, he's a bricklayer up in Perth. We're going to give him a couple of cartons of beer.
No, so Bucko, I've been honest about this on my channel. So I was very, very fortunate enough to my wife, one of my wife's bestest friends, her husband owns a winery down there, but that winery, their family is half owners of Shelter. So I messaged him and I said, mate, I love what you're doing. How would you feel about like shooting me a carton a month? At that time it was, and I'd love to promote your stuff. He goes, no, awesome, man. I'd love that. And that's how it's gone. And then I've actually grown a good friendship with the, I think it's the marketing guy, whatever his name's, Tom. And I'm sliming in there, mate. I've upped it to 2 cartons a month now.
Well, mate, I had a comment the other day. You know me, mate. I just drink whatever I buy from the bottle. I'm on the hard.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Because it's low carb. It's not working, but you know, someone go. This is talking about negative comments. Someone, I don't know the guy. He goes, "Oh, oi, how many types of beers do you want to try and promote, mate?" You're like, you know, it's like, really?
No, I know, and that wears you down, doesn't it? It can wear you down because you don't know, dude. You don't know.
Because I just, you know, I was drinking Coopers for a while, and then I was drinking 4X, and then I stumbled across that Veterans one, Spinifex Breweries in Perth.
Yeah.
I started drinking that, and then I got on to the guy who follows my YouTube channel, and he said, "Mate, we'll give you a couple of kegs of F88 lager for the Buckaroony camp up in Harvey Bay," and he sent a couple of kegs of beer over, mate, for the people who attended the event. And it was, you know, someone gives you a couple of kegs, the least you can do is hang a banner up and say, what, you know, how about beer? And that's what it's scratching each other's backs, mate. There's a difference between that.
Yeah, that's it.
You being on the payroll, and you can see through a lot of the big YouTubers now, they rely on sponsorship, and no way, mate. You're helping out a family. And speaking of Shelter, they've got a brewery in Bustleton, and we're going to meet up there in November, mate, and have a beer together.
100%. Yeah. Now, the thing I also want to mention, Bucko, because I'm absolutely I've explained this as well on my channel as far as discount codes and stuff go. And like you say, on the payroll, 100% not on the payroll, but I absolutely do. I like to be honest about this, is the 10% discount codes I offer, I get a kickback from that. I get 10% as well. Okay. So, and people should know that as well. Most of the times you'll see a discount code, that creator will get a 10% commission as well. So I think I do 2 or 3 at the moment, and they're companies that I've worked with for ages. But it comes down to that trusting. And with you, Bucko, I think that's why people love you, mate, is that you might get that stuff and you're just so pure that you haven't actually gone and said, oh, look, would you want a discount, you know, the discount code route? You've thrown that money to charity. That's bloody insane. That's
and
awesome.
I've only ever done discount codes with 2 companies, mate, and one of them was iTech World. And yes, iTech World gave me a discount when I bought batteries for the camper, to the old camper trailer and whatever. And my viewers got a discount, but I certainly didn't get a kickback from that. I wasn't getting another 10% on top of that. And the other one I did it with was Travel Buddy contacted me, and they gave me 3 Travel Buddies, mate. And he said, mate, I want to give you a Travel Buddy for yourself, and I want to give you 2 Travel Buddies for your charity event in Harvey Bay, which were giveaway prizes. That Travel Buddy I got, that's in my son's Hilux canopy now. I gave it to my son, mate, and he gave me a 10% discount only for my viewers. I never got anything back out of that, mate. I got a free Travel Buddy. I mean, how good is that, mate? He gave me a Travel Buddy, which I've given away to my son. And iTech World have always looked after me as well. But they certainly don't pay me any money to promote them. I just think it's promoting an Aussie company like you do, mate, promoting shelter and your local butcher and the guy who services your 76.
Yeah, AGD, Aaron, mate, bloody legend.
What is wrong with that? It's
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And it's like, as a viewer, I guess the ball's in your court. It's like, it's up to you. It is up to you. I'm putting out what I'm putting out. It's up to you to check my credibility. Check it. And do you know what? I urge people to check people's credibility because there's a lot of bullshit going around. Dig deep, guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Mate, this is what goes on behind the scenes.
Grant, have a look at this, Bucker. I want a discount code. Grant Saywell.
Another bet said diddly dog. Hey Pete, when we go to the Shelter Brewery at Bustleton in November, you reckon we'll get a discount there? You'll go.
No, we'll probably get arrested because we'll have to pay my bloody tab.
I thought we'd go there today.
It's
on the house, mate. Anything you want, it's on the
house.
No,
not that good, mate. I haven't sold enough for that.
And you know what's a good feeling, Pete, is when I get people like Jen from Shady Gear, Crazy.
You're going to say that. I heard this.
Jace from Crazy Dog ringing me on a Monday morning and go, Buck, you did a YouTube clip on some of my canvas bags, and I did $4,000 or $5,000 worth of bags on the weekend. I feel good. That gives me a bloody, Crazy gives me a couple of canvas bags to promote, and he gets $5,000 worth of sales out of it. That's what it's all
incredible.
About,
yeah, but it shows your power, mate. It shows your power and shows how much people do trust you. That's what it is. Simple as that.
I've never once asked anyone for money from my YouTube channel unless it's been to do with, or an item, I should
charity
say.
Events.
To do with charity. Anytime I ask these guys in the chat room to donate money and that, you can guarantee every cent of it's going into a charity. And we've given, I don't know, 60 grand.
It's incredible, Buck. It truly is, mate. Honestly.
I'm not in this for myself, mate. I'm in it to try and make a difference. And same as a lot of other guys here. Terry G, Steve from Soar Adventures, Snorky from Australian Camping and Four-Wheel Drives, Rob the Wanderer and that, who are doing the new Legends Camp in August down in South Queensland, mate. Already raised $20,000 for charity. Just blokes who do YouTube as a hobby, and we've raised $20,000 for charity already. And it's still, we haven't even had the event yet, I'll guarantee. And Gidgy Gorilla, his mate owns the Airlie Beach Hotel, just donated a pallet of piss, Pete, $6,000 worth of beer to the event. So you can guarantee everyone's going to go, I haven't had to pay for piss this weekend. Donation jar, in she goes, mate. Couple of pineapples.
Yeah, that's it, mate. All
for the charity, mate. But you know what I mean? Everyone's scratching each other's back.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, then you've also got to think about those guys who have made the shit comments in the past that have sort of made you think to yourself, like, nah, bugger this, it's not worth it. Yeah. Look what you've done. Look what you might have cut off, in the past, you bloody pricks, Yeah. They don't understand that because they're pissed off at their own life, Yeah.
No, I've always made it, it's always going to be about charity and all that type of stuff, mate. And where I can help animal shelters out is my big one, Pete. I love helping animals out, mate. I hate humans, but I love animals. So, mate,
I agree.
Pete, how do people get on and get some of your merch, mate? Give us a quick plug on if anyone wants a WA camping. I was going to wear a WA camping T-shirt tonight, but because the Mighty Maroons...
I think that's catching the oil underneath your car, I think.
So I've got a couple of your T-shirts, mate. The only thing I've got to complain about them is it's missing the state of Queensland. There's a dirty big Australia on the back of it. No Queensland. What's going on there?
I don't know, mate. I've got to rep where I'm from, I guess, I've got to stay loyal.
It's WA camping adventures after all, I suppose. But as I said, you sand gropers think that WA is its own country. And when you get over there, it just about is, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. West is best. Come on, Matty. Step up and help me out here, mate.
If anyone's into podcasts, and as I said, I don't intend to get into podcasts, Pete. But
he will. I'll work on him. He'll get into it.
No. I just like doing video podcasts like I'm doing now. I've got to learn how to download podcasts onto my iPhone.
That's it. That's it.
The bloody things while I'm driving, mate. Tell us a bit about why you got into Everyman Chats and your podcasts as a separate thing to your YouTube channel.
So, Bucko, sorry, you're going to get annoyed with me. There has to be a way that you can download these, the interviews, and especially with, Stephen Bradbury, that you can put them into audio format and put them on a podcast of your own. Truly, I reckon it's incredible.
Stephen Bradbury's up in the ionosphere somewhere now, mate. I've lost that clip and I'm spewing. The Andrew St.
Let's shoot him an email, mate.
They're gone, mate. They're gone.
Maybe some of your followers can hit him up.
Yeah, do another one or something. That'd be great. But who do you target for your Everyman Chats, Pete? Just normal blokes?
Exactly what the title says, because I'll tell you what, the reason I started this was to partner with the YouTube channel. And I think at the very start, I started it so that I could maybe sort of vent a little about, what it's like being a small-time content creator. And then it's turned into something much more incredible than that. I've said to the guys, I'd love to have you all on. And I've had most of my crew on there, and it just makes you realise that the everyman, good plug, has a story. Everyone has an incredible story, and everyone's been through shit in their life. Everyone's had triumphs in their life, and everyone has learnt shit in their life. And I'll tell you what, the podcast has helped me air a few of my demons or skeletons or whatever. It's made me realise that, maybe I haven't gotten over a lot of shit in my life that I feel like I have, but I guess speaking to these guys, you realise you're not alone, and it's probably been more, if not equal, with the YouTube channel as far as the feedback. The guys message and say, "Dude, I've been through that as well," especially with some of the real touchy topics that we've touched on. It can be quite heavy, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of people might be able to, get something from it. I bloody hope, but I don't know. It was sort of, my wife was the inspiration there, because we're in the pool the Christmas before I started. I think I've been doing it around a year and a bit now. And I found she's an avid podcast listener. She's a bit of a psycho. She listens to the the true crime podcast.
Yeah, Roswell, and the true crime things.
Yeah, so do I. Especially Case File. Like, he's incredible. He's got this beautiful voice, that nearly puts you to sleep, but it's almost disturbing. But she sort of mentioned it one time. I think we both had a few drinks in the pool, and she was like, why don't you get a podcast started? And it was so funny because, Bucko, something like that, I'd usually what do you call it? I'd delay. Oh shit, I've lost the wording for it, but oh man, I'm sorry, I've lost the word. But you'd stuff around and you'd talk yourself out of it, and maybe someone in the comments can help me, but you talk yourself out of it usually, and you're like, nah, bugger it, I'll do that another time. Procrastinate. I've got it, dude.
Procrastinate,
sorry, mate. But no, it was weird with Everyman Chats. I ended up literally the week after I had the podcast gear in my spare room, right where I'm sitting now, and the most nerve-wracking thing ever, mate, to hear yourself talking, on audio alone. But it's crazy, it's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, good. And you do a good job at it too, mate. I've watched a few. I've got to download.
Thanks, mate.
Some of your later ones. I've watched a couple of them.
Thanks, Mike.
You touch on bloody men's mental health a fair bit too, mate, which we all seem to bottle it up. And I've lost a couple of mates who
you're telling me, mate,
taken their own lives, and the black dog got them, mate, and we weren't there for them, and I feel friggin' horrible because of that. Fisherman Fecky, Mickey Dixon at work, and we had another young fella at work take his own life, and you come into work the next day and you think, friggin' hell, why did you kind of start blaming yourself because you weren't there for them and all that type of shit.
But that's hard, it almost, as the person who's having trouble, it's hard to actually to talk as well. That's as big as someone listening as well, it's shit. I'm lucky. I don't know. I'm lucky because I'm very good at leaning. I'm good at leaning on the people that are around me. It might be a burden to them, but they don't know. They've helped me a lot,
You're a good interviewer, Pete. I'll tell you now, mate. Don't bloody cut yourself short there. You're a very good viewer.
Thanks, Bucko. Appreciate it, mate. I've got a
you
lot
get
to learn.
mate. You get people to open up. It's really good. But anyway, mate, so Every Man Chats. If you're into your podcast, guys, get on to Pete's. They just type into your podcast thing, Every Man Chats, mate. And
Yeah, you find it somewhere. Look for the glowing beetroot.
That's from working out in the sun all friggin' day. Mate, shout out to your dad. I didn't realise you're a brickie with your dad. Your dad is one tough dude, mate.
He's a good man. He's a good man.
Still laying bricks. Tough as nails, mate. Tough as nails. They don't build them like that anymore.
No, they absolutely do not. He's my best mate and the most loyal bloody bloke you'll ever have in your whole life.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. And the fact that you get to work with your dad and he's still going at 72, fit and healthy, strong as a mallee bull, mate.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Hats off to him, mate. I said, how's his back held up as a brickie, mate? Because, mate, that's a tough job.
He's had a shot.
That's a tough job, mate. Mate, I love this. This is the last slide before we wrap up for the night. This is your camping philosophy as a brickie, the camping brick. Throw a brick in the air. If it hits the ground, go camping. I love it.
Spot on, mate.
I absolutely love it.
No, I'll tell you what, Bucko, that's one thing I've actually learned from the old man is that, like, especially now, he was a hard worker, like, it still is, but back in the day, he used to just fucking big, long days and stuff like that, and I noticed it as a kid, but now as he's gotten older and had grandkids and stuff like that, it's stop and smell the roses, and you know, I don't care what time we knock off, mate, it doesn't matter, you know, like, enjoy your life, because I'll tell you what, the old man says to me, he goes, mate, sometimes I'll look in the mirror and I'll see this old bastard standing in front of me, and I'll still have a young heart, and oh man, it sticks in my head. And I tell you, I'll get a bit of flack, and I'll take the piss out of myself 100% for like knocking off early and then coming home and editing and stuff. That shit's what I enjoy doing. It is, and I don't give a shit about money. I do, you know, I absolutely do. There's a baseline that I need. But holy shit, man! I don't want to be about work. I really don't. Not unless I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, no, good on you, mate. The fact you're working with your dad and bloody.
Oh, mate, I'm a lucky man.
Your mob, mate.
Yeah, that's Pete. Pete from What Now? He's an absolute champion. Another creator, you know, that just. I wish I had a magic wand to go freaking check him out. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, for all my community out there. Some of these West Aussie guys, West Australian off-road, write me down, guys, or go back through the comments. Go in and check their channels out and subscribe. More good West Aussie guys. Bloody What Now? I missed that one. He moves just as you. Bloody What Now? Four-wheel drive.
That's a funny story. That's a personal joke. His daughter plays netball with my daughter. His daughter plays netball with mine, yeah. Oh, you should see him, mate. You should see him on the sideline. It's like fucking, what do you call it? Sheedy. It's like Sheedy on the fucking, he gets animated, this guy.
Lead with the elbow.
Yeah. Right, come on, second wind.
Parents on the sideline are the worst, mate, aren't they?
Pete's a bloody nice bloke, man. He really is.
Big Trav, there we go.
Yeah. Another one.
Mate? The best dessert bush cook in the world. Where's Big Marky now?
Where is he? I'm not sure. I haven't caught up with him in a while, but I've kept in touch with him absolutely. But Big Trav needs a mention. He's the most genuine, nicest bloody bloke I've ever met. All these guys. Check out his channel, guys, if you can.
We'll slip you a 50 to say something good about us on the live feed tonight.
I'll take it. No, the beers have done enough, mate. You've slipped me enough.
That's good stuff. No, good on you, mate. It's good to see you. I just love the way when you go out, especially on your tinny trips and your trips in the 76, mate, how you get together with the boys and you can just tell that you love doing it, mate. You're not doing it for YouTube. You're doing it because you just love being out there and just bloody enjoying yourself, mate. I was watching one of your tinny trips recently, Pete, and I could just see you're beaming, mate. Like, I've never seen anyone so happy to be out doing something. It was like, I just felt so proud of you, mate. Like, just how, like, I just see that, how happy you were to be out in the outdoors and being on the boat and being with your mates, mate. That's what it's all about. I was just sitting back thinking, fucking look at Pete. He's just loving this shit. Absolutely loving it. You weren't doing it because you wanted to be out there getting 6,000 views on you. You were out there because you wanted to be with the boys and you wanted
whatever it gets.
have a great weekend. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. And I'll tell you what, though, a lot of that goes to the guys that I go with. They're good, bloody great people, incredible people. They make the content for me. I'd be happy not to do intros and stuff like that. I'd be happy just to film them guys. They're incredible, but I want to walk that line between not intruding too much on them and not making my channel what the trip's about type of thing. But that feeling of getting out on that's what boats do, eh? I don't know what it is. That's what boats do for a man. I reckon you might understand that a bit.
Mate, I was out doing a driving thing with a young kid at the PCYC this morning, doing a 90-minute drive, and we went past the river, and it was just a glorious day here. And I just thought, why am I doing this, and why aren't I in the boat out on the river having it blowing the cobwebs out? My brother there, mate, Gidgy Gorilla, said, bro, put all the channels up on my Facebook page so all my mob can bloody subscribe. So
Peter, mate, I'll send the list here because they honestly don't get the recognition they deserve because they're not sensationalizing their stuff. That's why. They're just genuine guys. Literally, you said before, just a picture of a campfire. Trav, most of his videos are like pictures of what's actually bloody happening in the video.
Oh.
But I don't know. Next one might be a G-string. Who knows? Let's get Petey's ass out, I reckon.
I don't know if we get a lot of views if we're in a G-banger, Pete, you and me. But Marky's good, mate. He was the king of bush desserts, Marky. He could cook some nice stuff out there, mate, eh?
Yeah, I think he was one of the best, mate, I reckon. Hey, Bucko, there's a comment there from Terry G. Have you used your chopping board yet? Wait there, 2 sec.
Yes.
Sorry, mate. It's too bloody nice, dude, to use. He made this for me, mate, and I thank him so much. An incredible guy. I can't use it. It's on my shelf in my office.
They're great. A lot of people have said that about Terry. I actually used the first one Terry gave me, the Buckaroony one. I put a big hot camp oven on it and scorched the top of it. And Terry saw it in one of my clips and he said, oh, Buck, I want to send you another one. I said, that's all right, mate. That's what they're for, to be used. So he sent me another one and a Rafa one as well. And they're in the house, mate, that don't get used. They're just like a breadboard or whatever.
An ornament. Yeah, I'm with you, mate. Yeah.
The original. They're beautiful, mate. And Terry does a fantastic job on those chopping boards. I don't know how many people out there. Mate, I wish I had more time. I know I'm retired now, but to watch all these channels on here and what, but you can't, mate. Do you find that you want to watch more of your mates' YouTube stuff, but you're so tied up with your own YouTube channel, mate? It takes a lot of time up, Pete.
100%. And I'm glad you brought that up because I find that YouTube is the most pure platform. Hold up, stick with me here. As far as choosing what you want to watch, because if you think about it with Instagram and Facebook, Instagram, I follow, I think, around 1,300 people. There's no way in the world that I'm ever going to follow that amount of people. And the people that I want to follow and I want to keep a close eye on, they get lost. They get lost in that, in the algorithm and all that bullshit. But I find with YouTube, I get to choose who I'm subscribed to, and I get to like my subscriptions list is exactly who I want to watch, and I'll stick by that, and that's what I love about that. That's the only part I probably like about that YouTube.
No, it's fantastic, mate. Hey, Pete, it's bloody 8:54. We're nearly half an hour overtime. Pete's got two.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Your 2 young girls. He's got to get to bed and everything, guys. So we could talk to midnight, and we could, mate. We'll have to.
Good excuse to do another one, Bucko.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Anytime you want to do another one in the second half of the year, let's do it again. We'll pick some other subjects and we'll get people on, mate. we
Love
might
it.
get you and me on the screen, and people can come into the chat room and ask you questions. If people have got they want to ask you, Pete, we'll get them on the
I'd
screen
love that.
so we can see who they are. They can come on and ask you a question, mate. So we might do that later in the year.
Sounds great.
Really looking forward, mate. I know Roz and I are in the planning stages of coming to West Aussie. I've got to come over and see my new little granddaughter down in Bustleton.
Oh, mate.
You and Cam, I've got to catch up. I still have not met Cam in real life, and I want to.
Yeah.
Without letting the cat out, we got a lot in common, me and Cam, and I want to meet Cam and Tiff. You know, they sent us towels and
magic,
mate. Just a great couple, Cam and Tiff. Absolutely great couple, and thing, mate. Thank you so much for being on the feed tonight. There's so much more we could have talked about. I appreciate. Bloody love to your family, mate. Sherry and the bloody two girls. But it's been great having you on. I don't know you that well, mate, in real life, but I consider you a bloody good mate. And amazing how YouTube can bring people together. And I've become, mate, Terry G and all the
I can
other
see that.
on here, mate, just become good mates through YouTube. It's a fantastic thing. If you use it for good rather than evil,
that's
it's a fantastic thing, mate. And thanks to everything you do, Pete. Like you bloody put a smile on everyone's face. You're passionate about what you do. I hope one day, mate, you can, you win the lotto. You can give Bricky in away. You and your dad can give Bricky in away, and you can do it as a bloody full-time hobby or whatever, mate. It'd be absolutely fantastic.
Oh, mate, no, I'm a happy man. I've got everything I need in life. But Bucko, I need to say this, mate. I'm so fucking glad you're back, mate. I truly am, dude. And I bet 99% of these people who are watching tonight miss you as well. And you need to know what you've created. You really need to know what you've created. It's incredible. The shit that you've given to charity and stuff like that, and all off your own back. And I'm loving learning more about you as well. That's why I'm looking forward to having you on the podcast. But mate, thank you. No, thank you. You're a big inspiration to me as well. So and mate, anytime I'd love to come on here and chat to you. I've really enjoyed it. And thank you everyone who's jumped on here and had a watch, and I'm sorry about the heat blaring off my face.
That's what happens when you work out in the sun all day. Thank you to everyone.
Thanks, mate. I keep telling myself that too.
You can see the sunny marks and that, mate. But mate, you work out in the sun all day. You work hard, and there's people out there knocking you for having a beer up their ass, mate. I bet they don't work as hard as what you do. I
agree as well, mate. I agree. Stop and smell the roses, mate.
Friggin' Bricky, there's not too many harder jobs out there than being a Bricky, mate. Like, honestly, and the fact your dad's still doing it at 72 has blown me away. Absolutely.
And he loves it. And he loves it too, Bucko. It's weird, eh?
Good on him, mate. And he said to me yesterday, Dad does it because he said if he stops doing it, he'll die. My mum's the same, mate, 82 years old, still nursing full-time because she said, if I stop working, I'll die. And Mum is still battling on at 82. Doing shift work as a full-time nurse, mate. From a different generation, Pete. Tougher than us, mate.
Yeah, but the thing is, it takes a different breed of person to do nursing. My mum was a nurse as well, Bucko, and they're just I was very fortunate to have a mum as a nurse. There's something very special about them. They're very nurturing, and you know what I mean? They're incredible.
Ty Fenwick reckons on my driving thing for the PCY ski, I'll have a reversing boat trailer. That's not part of the curriculum. I'll go, but every bloke needs to know how to do it.
You shut up and get in the car.
That should be one of the modules on the thing. They got all these modules they got to get through. Reversing a friggin' boat trailer should be one of them. Ty, you're on the money there, mate. Mike,
absolutely. Cheers, Ty. Bloody legend.
Thanks so much, Mike. I didn't see Steve W on. He's probably out. Andy Riches, Mike Blakely. Thanks for tuning in from overseas, guys. Really, really appreciate it.
Amazing.
And what I will do, I'll go back through here, Pete, and I'll try and get some of your mates' four-wheel drive things. Put them
awesome, Bucko,
So my mob can get on and start following them, mate. And if you have not subscribed to WA Camping Adventures, what planet are you on? Get on and subscribe to Pete's channel. It's a bloody one of the best ones out there. And I'll keep saying it, mate. You and Cam and a few others, you've always been my favourite little channels. And that'll never change, mate. I love watching you and Cam and There's a few other little ones out there. I don't watch the big boys anymore. I just think they've lost their way. But, mate, you just stay true to yourself, and you're out there with your mates enjoying yourself, having a camp, having a cook-up, having a beer, having a laugh, and that's what it's all about, mate, isn't it?
Thanks, Bucko. That's bloody awesome, mate. Look, when we get off air, I'll ring you later in the week. I'm going to talk to you about water filters.
All right. Good night, everyone. We're going to end the stream. Thanks for hanging in so long, Pete. Thank you.
No, thank you, Bucko. Bloody pleasure, mate.
See you later, eh?
See you guys.